Atlatl whirled toward the sound of the snarl and froze at the sight of the horrible beast. Saber-tooth. It was the distance of the throw of a spear away. Atlatl did not have his spear. He'd set it against a tree just down the hill. At this distance, a spear would not have helped anyway. Since a childhood tumble down a cliff, Atlatl's left leg was permanently twisted at the knee, and he was unable to put weight on it to throw with any strength. The saber-tooth snarled again and took another step. Even if he was capable of running, which, because of his knee, he was not, Atlatl was trapped by rock walls. This beast, then, was in no hurry. Saber-tooths were heavy and broad, low to the ground, shoulders wide and chest broad, haunches bulky with muscle. Saber-tooths did not chase with a burst of speed like a cheetah. Saber-tooths needed to pounce from ambush, then sink the spears of their front teeth into the necks of startled victims or into the soft bellies of larger prey, like a mammoth or camel. Its orange-brown fur rippled as it lifted and set down each of its massive paws. "I'm not worth your effort," Atlatl told the saber-tooth. He'd needed to swallow a few times just to work moisture into his throat. "I'm skinny. My bones will get stuck in your throat and choke you." It was either force himself to speak in a calm manner that hid his terror, or shriek and limp away as fast as possible. He really wanted to shriek and try to run. He knew, however, that movement would make the saber-tooth chase and pounce. Life both as hunters and hunted taught children the ways of survival early. Those who paid the price for inattention, if their bodies could be retrieved, were wrapped in animal skins and returned to the earth beneath the tears of the women of the clan, who would sing wordless tunes of mourning until the sun left the sky, their faces painted red with ochre. Stories of the person would be told around the fires so that no one would forget them. What Atlatl wanted to do most was listen to the tremble in his belly and flee, knowing that at any second those great claws could dig deep into the flesh of his shoulders and back. But he refused to allow himself to die with those marks. If his body was ever found, he did not want anyone in the clan to know he'd been a coward. Especially Taki, beautiful Taki. He wanted Taki to cry over his death, not be ashamed of him. After all, he was up in these hills hunting birds to bring her back his usual gift of bright feathers. "Go away," Atlatl told the saber-tooth. "I'm a healer. I can cast a spell on you. I will turn you into a mouse and squeeze you until your eyes pop out." It was an idle threat. Atlatl was not the clan's healer. That honor belonged to Banti, Atlatl's uncle. Atlatl was just a boy, almost a man, with a twisted left leg. "I saw a giant sloth," Atlatl said to the saber-tooth, "a little ways down the hill. Much bigger than me. You can take your time. It will still be there. You do know that sloths move slowly, yes?" The beast ignored Atlatl's promise of a giant sloth and continued to creep forward. Too soon it would be close enough for a ferocious leap with terrifying jaws opened wide. Atlatl knew he'd been careless and doubted he'd survive to learn from his mistake. This was afternoon, late in the summer. Atlatl was near the edge of a high rock wall that overlooked the rounded grasslands and scattered clumps of trees of the Valley of the Turtle. It was a vast valley. The low set of mountains on the western side, purpled by haze, were at least a day's walk away. Far, far upstream along the river that fed this valley was Ghost Mountain, where the clan never traveled. Beyond Ghost Mountain was the land of the gods, where the turtle god had been bound by the others to save the peoples from his anger, not a place for mere mortals to tread. Atlatl had climbed this high into the hills because he'd wanted a private place to experiment with a new weapon for hunting birds. The idea had occurred to him the day before. Atlatl had been prodding clumps of grass with a long stick, hoping to force mice to scamper where he could swat them. A small snake.